Hello and welcome. It's funny. Have you ever noticed how you can remember the exact layout of your house or maybe a level in a video game, but then you struggle to remember a simple list of facts for a test? Well, today we're going to talk about a memory technique that uses that exact strength of your brain.
It's a really common experience, right? You sit down to study a long list of vocabulary words or historical dates, and it just feels like your brain isn't built for it. It can be pretty frustrating. And you know what? There's a good reason for that. Our brains are amazing when it comes to remembering places and visual scenes. They're wired for it. But abstract lists of facts? Not so much. So the trick is to turn those boring lists into something our brain is actually good at remembering. And that's exactly what the method of Loci does.
So, what is this method? It's sometimes called a memory palace, which sounds really fancy, but the idea is actually super simple. You take the information you need to remember, and you mentally place each piece in a specific spot inside a location you know really, really well. Then, to remember it, you just take a mental walk through that place. And this palace can be anything: your bedroom, your walk to school, whatever.
Okay, before we go any further, let's make sure this idea sticks. If you're following along on your page, you'll see the first question. Just take a second to define the method of Loci in your own words. Go ahead and pause here if you need to.
So, why does this work so well? It really comes down to how our brains are built. Think about your own room. You can probably picture exactly where your bed is, where your desk is. You don't even have to try. That's because places automatically come with images and context. A random fact just doesn't have that built-in hook for our memory to grab onto.
All right, let's think about that for a moment. On your page, you'll see the next question. Why does your brain remember places and visuals better than random facts? Just jot down a quick thought on that.
Now, this technique is an absolute game changer for certain types of schoolwork. It's perfect for things that come in a list or an order. So think about vocabulary lists, the steps in a science experiment, the stages of a historical event, or even just the key points you need to remember for a speech. It's fantastic for anything you need to recall quickly.
To help this sink in, go ahead and look at your workbook page. Take a moment to write down a few examples of what this technique would be really good for in your own classes.
Now, here's a really important rule. The location you choose has to be a place you know inside and out. Why? Because that place is your storage system. If you know it perfectly, your brain can walk through it on autopilot, which makes recalling the information feel effortless and super reliable. You don't want your brain wasting energy trying to remember the location itself.
Okay, so let's talk about a few common mistakes to avoid. We just talked about the first one. Don't choose a place you don't know well. Another one is using boring images. The weirder and more vivid the mental picture, the better you'll remember it. Also, try not to cram too many things in one spot. And, this is a big one, always walk your mental path in the exact same order every time.
On your page, you'll see a spot to write down one mistake that can make this technique weaker. Go ahead and pick one from the list we just discussed and jot it down. So, picture this. You're about to take a big test or you're getting ready to give a presentation. Instead of feeling that panic where you're trying to grab facts out of thin air, you have a system. You can just calmly take a mental walk through your memory palace and retrieve everything you need, one piece at a time, in the right order. All right, enough talking about it, let's actually do it. In the Apply It section of your workbook, we're going to build a small memory path together. It's just 4 steps. We'll choose a place, pick 5 items, place them along our path, and then walk through it a few times. Okay, step 1. Choose a place you know like the back of your hand. Your bedroom is a great choice, or maybe your kitchen. Go ahead and write down your location in your workbook. You can pause right here to do that. Great. Now for step 2. Pick one of your classes and choose 5 things you need to remember for it. It could be 5 vocab words, 5 historical figures, or 5 parts of a formula. Write those 5 items down. Take a moment to do that now. And now for the creative part, step 3. You're going to mentally place each of those 5 items in a specific spot along your path. So if you picked your bedroom, maybe item 1 is at the doorway, item 2 is on your bed, item 3 is on your desk, and so on. Just be sure to keep the order consistent. Go ahead and match each item to a location on your page. Pause here to get that set up. All right, and finally, step 4. This is the practice run. Without looking at your page, take that mental walk. See how many of the 5 items you can recall. You're going to do this 3 times, and each time, record your score out of 5 in your workbook. You might be really surprised how well this works even on the first try. Go ahead and pause to complete this step.
Now that you've tried it, let's think bigger. You'll see a final reflection question on your page. Where could this technique help you most this semester? Think of a specific class or a test coming up where this could be your secret weapon. Go ahead and write down your ideas.
Okay, let's do a super quick recap. The method of loci is all about attaching information to familiar locations because your brain is naturally great at remembering places and visuals. It's best for things like lists, steps, or key points. And remember, a consistent path and really vivid images are what make it so strong.
Before we finish up, just take a moment to complete any parts of the Lesson 6.3 page that you might have skipped. Make sure everything's filled out so you can use this later.
Once you're all set with that, you'll be ready for our next lesson, where we'll talk about another technique called connection webs. I'll see you then.